Kongdoo now over on the blue, still going to be sticking with this Twisted Fate and the Karma ban coming in. So not changing up a whole lot yet. Gangplank as well. Going to be banned away as the Vladimir comes out from the side of CJ.
Well, if I'm Kongdoo, I just try and pick a scaling comp yet again because it seems like CJ's shot calling is entirely absent, so why not take advantage of that fact while you can?
Let's see. Kongdoo having somewhat, not entirely related to, but definitely helped by the miraculous steal from the side of Punch going in, getting that first Baron for themselves away from CJ, and it's all started to just slowly unravel from there.
I'm actually surprised that they banned the Shen, but considering they can't just first round take the Trundle, perhaps that will be a nice edge. Now Echo and Gnar are both still up. It will be the Taliyah final ban here from CJ. Don't want to give that first pick over, so lots of junglers available, but so is the Echo, and that will be the easy first pick. Roach did play it all 4 games in the finals. He won 3 of those.
Didn't differentiate at all with that, so naturally he'll want to pick that up for himself. So a strong grab here for the side of Kongdoo Monster. Now we just have to see what CJ wants to take in retaliation.
A chance for the Rek'Sai and the Gnar.
Would be a takeaway from Punch. Rek'Sai, one of his biggest, but also a decent middle league player. So could see that one come through as it is available.
Yeah, now the players have not been playing on this particular patch in the Challenger Series.
True.
So
the nerfs,
the nerfs coming through. Otherwise, he has defaulted quite frequently to Elise. The odd Lee Sin game here or there.
Well, Gnar grabbed up, so we'll see our top lane matchup. Because CJ probably going to save that last pick for TD in mid. And then the Rek'Sai take away. So could be the Nidalee, could be the Elise here for Punch. Maybe pull out something a little bit more colorful, like a Hecarim perhaps, but probably just going to stick to what he knows well. Lee Sin, as you mentioned, certainly something that could be seen.
Yeah, I think you just take the Elise here and go safe. If you want to take the Nidalee, you better start stacking up some crowd control in your side lanes. They are going to take the Jhin here for Soul, which has been his big pick as of late. He basically playing only Jhin and Ezreal.
Snatch that one away from Kramer, which means that Kramer probably going to have to go over to this Sivir. Could do Ezreal himself, but
the Alistar here would be a bit odd, considering that you can still take the Braum, and that's obviously very effective against Nidalee and Jhin, but they're going to go for it, going to try and play for some dives instead. Lots of speed here, and diving potential from the Alistar and the Sivir.
Well, we've seen some great performances on the Alistar by Madlife. Not really in recent memory, but in the past, of course, it's been a big one for him. So see if he's able to return to that level of performance alongside Kramer in that bottom lane, going up against Jhin, and looks like it's going to be a Trundle support here for Guger. So one of the big ones that he's been playing alongside the Braum and the Tahm Kench. Yeah, and then it will be Varus mid for Edge. It made it through the draft.
I mean, it's a good draft from Kongdoo so far. They have a very strong mid-game poke composition.
Well-balanced damage, too.
Yeah, they have well-balanced damage. They are going to be able to peel efficiently with the Trundle and the Echo. If they do get engaged on, they can just use the Trundle ult to soften up the Gnar and then immediately kill him. They have to be worried about the hard engage, though, primarily from the Alistar. CJ here, now Lissandra would be a terrible lane matchup for BDD, but it would be good in team fights because you'll be able to play potentially with the teleports. You can have dual teleports for some flanks, and that'd be good too.
Okay, well, thinking about the Syndra, this is a pick that has really picked up in popularity, specifically with Cloud9 and Jensen in the mid lane.
I mean, we've seen a lot of it played in the LCS, but we've seen it recently played in Korea too. But in Korea, people just abuse the absolutely vulnerable laning phase that Syndra has. And we saw Frozen try and play it. He died like 8 times in that game.
That wasn't a very good
repeatedly in
performance.
So, high risk, high reward is the name of the game on Syndra, but at least you have a very long range engage with the orbs with the Scatter the Weak, so that can disrupt a poke composition. You actually, what you will do, probably see BDD do, is throw his ult down, Scatter the Weak, and then Mad Life will follow up with a Headbutt Pulverize combo. So I like the pickup here. Edge is going to take Barrier as an overshield to the Syndra Burst in response. And BDD is going to take Cleanse because he doesn't want to get locked down with the Chain of Corruption.
Yeah, a couple things he can get himself out of. The root from the Jhin. Another one, but going back over to this high burst mage on the Syndra, so a bit more in form with BDD's style. But we'll see if he's able to pull it off, because Frozen trying his hand at it didn't look so well. So we'll see how BDD fares, because had a pretty decent game on the Taliyah, barring the ultimate. So we'll see how he can set up the Scatter of the Week here.
I mean, he really didn't coordinate very well with this team on the Taliyah, but he will be more self-sufficient this time. Not going to take Ignite, we'll take the Ghost instead.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get right onto the Rift for Game 2 and see if CJ can even the score if Kongdoo is going to send them into the loser's match. The CJ fans still cheering, trying to give them their energy. Still have Koro and Gorilla hanging out in the audience in support of Kongdoo Monster.
One would assume. One would assume.
Yeah, a Kongdoo Monster cheerful. Look at that, we get an Infernal Drake.
Wow. Well,
the clothes comes off.
The clothes come off now. Strip Drake has begun. Goodbye, Vest.
All right. So we'll see how far we can push this. It's gonna be a triple. It's gonna be like a triple Infernal Drake or something.
Underwear next to Kilios. Underwear
next?
Yep.
Okay, you have to do the Zoolander though, where you reach into your pants and then you pull them out without taking the pants off.
Damn. Well, I'll work on that one. I haven't worn my tearaway underwear today.
Oh no, that's the secret. It's not tearaway underwear. You just have to work it off.
Oh, I don't think I can physically do that, sadly.
Hansel did it.
Well, I believe he's a lot better at stripping than I am.
You know, I love that whole thing, the whole walk-off is judged by David Bowie.
Yes, that movie is fantastic.
Too bad they made a second one.
Well, I never watched it, so my memories remain unblemished to Kilios.
Yeah, I refuse to watch that.
Just like I didn't even know there was a new Ben-Hur. Did you know I would have gone the rest of my life without knowing there was another Ben-Hur movie if you didn't tell me today?
Yep.
You're a bad person.
The only reason I knew is because I was just like clicking through YouTube videos. There's this guy that I watch for movie reviews every now and then, Chris Stuckman, and then it said like Ben-Hur, and I was like, oh, he reviewed the old Ben-Hur movie, and then I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, there's a new Ben-Hur movie with Morgan Freeman.
Wow.
Okay.
The darkest timeline is when they remake Lawrence of Arabia.
Yes, please. Oh God, that will be awful. I mean, they're remaking It now, Stephen King's It.
I mean, I don't care about Stephen King, so whatever.
That's Tim Curry, though.
It's true. I do care about Tim Curry.
So
they are remaking Rocky Horror Picture Show also.
Yeah, they're just saying, like, you know what? Let's just say screw you, Tim Curry, all at once. Just release. They're gonna remake Clue. Just name a movie that Tim Curry's in, and they're probably just gonna remake it. It's gonna be terrible.
I think that while they're remaking Tim Curry, they should designate one actor as the remade Tim Curry actor,
so
and
he's
just give
in
him all
of
those roles.
Sure. Can it be somebody really good at, like, character acting? Let's get Gary Oldman to be the new Tim Curry.
I'm down with that.
That would actually be okay.
He's probably too old to do that, though, sadly.
Yeah. Can you imagine Gary Oldman in Rocky Horror Picture Show?
It'd be pretty great. Pretty great. I'd enjoy that very much.
Yeah, that'd be pretty wonderful. But it's probably not going to happen. BDD going to get this early blue buff over from Haru. Going to help him out a lot. But there you go. 2 HP. That's a oh no. Haru got it.
Oh no!
2 HP, it's the deadly number!
Wow.
That's how you lose stuff.
That is the curse.
Oh man, that is tilting, because BDD used all that mana to try to get the blue buff. He wasted time wandering out of the lane, and now Ed has the lead.
They were trying to give him that nice, sick lead off of the blue buff too that the Rek'Sai doesn't need. Bummer.
Wow, that really sucks. That would tilt me.
Well, at least Edge doesn't have a blue buff and BDD doesn't, because first blue buff did go over to the Nidalee. It's not the end of the world, but it would have been nice to have that advantage to start this game. He also missed some CS.
Yeah.
He's out of lane. He's not going to be able to make that up now.
He'll be able to juggle a lot more balls.
I can only juggle 3 balls in Kilios. Can you juggle?
I can't juggle. I'm not good at juggling. I can toss the 2 that I have up and down. That's about it.
That's not juggling at all.
Yeah, I know. I'm not claiming to be a juggler here, Monte Cristo.
Good. Put you in your place then.
Yeah, it's never a skill that I learned.
It's not too late to Kilios. It's really not very hard just to do standard 3-ball juggling.
I'm sure. Seems like something that you have a lot of time to learn until the arthritis sets in. That is the limitation of being able to learn juggling. Trades coming out on the bottom side. Mad Life can get choked out low, but he's okay. He's an Alistar, has that triumphant roar. But overall, Kramer slipping behind a little bit. BDD the same with that roam over. But Haru has gotten a bit of a lead in the jungle, so he'll be in a decent spot on this recall.
Yeah, somehow, actually, against the Nidalee. Interesting that in our Nidalee games tonight, we've been seeing Rek'Sai's out-farm them. The speed just hasn't been there from our Nidalee players.
Nope. No, it was that auto-attack reset that they got rid of. It makes the difference.
It does make a small difference, but I don't know, man. I think people have figured out Nidalee. She's not that great in the late game. See how the build goes for Punch here. At least they have a composition that is well designed to house the Nidalee and to provide additional poke alongside the Nidalee spears. So we'll be about positioning and be about CJ's ability to flank and stop them or hit that scatter the weak. BDD did switch off the cleanse, so has to be cautious when it comes to the Chain of Corruption.
And now that we are at that level 6 point, Chain of Corruption line up pretty well for a Javelin from Punch. And just allows them to collapse in onto BDD, so see how he tiptoes around that fight in the mid lane, as it's pretty inevitable. Kramer and Soul both coming back in, having BF swords. So Soul looking like he's gonna just go straight in for the Essence Reaver or the Infinity Edge rather than building into something like that Youmuu's Ghostblade.
Yeah, interesting here that'd be the selection.
He's ready to scale with his,
I guess,
scaling jungler.
Yeah, his mid-game focus team composition. Bit unusual. See what Soul's gonna be able to do with that.
So far, he's maintaining a CS lead at least, so that'll be good for him. Maru gets the red, still has yet to visit any lanes. Punch is going to set up this blue buff, likely for Edge. He hasn't gone back and gotten the tier yet, so maybe
really delayed recall here.
Yeah, he's going to be potentially a bit behind on stacking that tier up, but looks like, yeah, he will be able to grab this blue. Be in an okay spot.
I mean, he's probably not going to buy tier first against Syndra anyway. He'll probably buy Hexdrinker first.
Okay,
so,
go for a really late...
yeah, you really don't want to buy the tier first if you are in the Syndra matchup. And so probably go Hexdrinker tier Maw, if I had to guess. So in any case, the tier stacking not really going to be a delayed as a result. In fact, by staying in lane longer so he can afford maybe a Hexdrinker and a tier, he might be saving himself some time.
That's true. Still not a whole lot of harass coming down onto him either from BDD. He's only used 2 of those corrupting potion charges in the first 8.5 minutes of this game, so he's been in a pretty decent spot this entire time. Shy is starting to stretch a lead, about 20 CS Up in the top lane, opted in for the double Doran's Blade. And the boots to Roach's, looking for the sheen, looks like, with that Sapphire Crystal and the Dark Seal. So, doing a pretty good job up here on this Gnar.
Not too shabby, but that is a pretty aggressive start there. Yeah, to get it second time around with the double Doran's Blade, and usually you do see the Echoes build like this.
Boy.
They're able to keep that into the late game. Nice force on the flash there from Roach.
Yeah, really good. So getting that one away from Shy. So, it was good force up after he had used that Mega Gnar, so could get back into it to try to counterplay. And yep, had enough for it with the Tira and the Hex Drinker coming in from Edge, so he's going to be sitting pretty nicely in this mid lane now. There's a lot of protection available to him. Gang coming up to the top side. Javelin not going to connect. Roach gets stunned into the wall, has to snap back immediately. Punch going in underneath the tower, but Shy's alive, gets the pummel! He flashes forward, tries to get the auto attack. He's able to do it, gets the first blood, but he goes down as an answering kill. Haru not getting the last hit, but gets the assist in the end.
Yeah, Haru just showing up with a Void Rush into that fight. Didn't expect the Rek'Sai to be able to get there that quickly, and Punch realizes that he's going to get trapped under the turret, does the smart thing and actually just trades flashes for first blood. They got 2 flashes and the first blood kill, so actually worthwhile for Kongdoo.
Oh boy, now Mad Life gets the headbutt in onto Cougar. Rather, the Pulverize headbutts him out. Takes a hell of a lot of damage, but looks like he's still going to be fine. Soul on this Jhin, not going to be doing enough damage to pop him with those hits, so we'll take a look at this again. Shy playing this pretty well. I
mean, they had no idea that there was a tunnel there in the brush. Nice setup earlier on into this game. Punch actually does have to flash over. One of those times where the auto attack reset actually probably made a difference.
Well, get the kill in the end, get that first blood, but CJ are still going to maintain the lead. Very much in part due to the top lane and the jungle. Shy and Haru have been dominating as far as the CS goes. The first blood going to make up for it a little bit as far as the Haru versus Punch match goes, but still 20 CS there. Another 16 in top for Shy that he has as a lead. So CJ doing decently well to keep their heads above the water for now.
Yeah, I guess it's just not very convinced, because at the very least, Kongdoo, they ever get a chance to group up here, their poke is absolutely immense. We haven't seen the shot calling necessary from CJ to really coordinate to stop that.
Mad Life just going to get rooted, doesn't have his ultimate, and he has to flash away. Oh, big chunk coming out onto BDD as well. So he is going to be hurting now. And interesting roam from the cow. And that's going to be the Infernal Drake started up by Kongdoo Monster. They'll be able to take this without any competition.
Yeah, great timing. They know Mad Life's in the mid lane, and they know he just used his flash. Also, Sivir right back at base, so absolutely free Infernal Drake. Good rotation there by Kongdoo into the bottom side of the river, with Mad Life just helping out with his Relic Shield underneath the mid lane turret, and the fact they landed the piercing arrow onto BDD, who had no more potions. That's a huge pickup, especially for a poke composition that really is looking at dealing a lot of damage in the mid game. Very helpful for them to chunk people out with that Infernal Drake buff.
Yeah, Edge is going to be having a field day once he starts completing these first couple items. Already has that serrated dirt coming in, so he can look for the ball. So he'll be able to build that up fairly quickly. Has a couple hundred gold in the inventory right now, so still just needs about 600 more or so to get the completion. And he is going to start hitting like a truck on this Varus. And BDD has been slipping further and further behind on this Cinder. Still looking for that Morellonomicon as his first item.
I don't really understand this Nidalee from Punch. He hasn't done anything this game that he couldn't have done with an Elise or a Gragas. Hasn't been able to hit those huge counter jungling numbers that we know that Elises are capable, or Nidalees rather, are capable of getting. So might as well just go for a more standard jungler that'll have use in the late game.
Mad Life just sitting in the brush, finds Cougar, doesn't want to hit him or anything, so just run around in a couple circles. Essence Reaver completed for Soul. So getting that one in well ahead of Kramer, who is taking a slight detour to pick up a dagger for his Berserker Greaves, more than likely. He'll just be slightly behind this Jin. And now with that 6%, or 8% rather, additional AD AP coming through, it's going to put Soul that much further ahead.
Top lane matchup. Interesting, Roach is going for the Trinity Force, so some damage here, but it's not translating into a lane advantage just because Shy has got that Frozen Mallet now. Does make it very hard for Roach to consistently close the gap.
Yeah, he's going to be able to hound him down. And because of that CS differential still that's been created between top and jungle, CJ have a 400 gold lead here in 14 minutes, so nothing significant, but need to knock down a tower to really help get themselves rolling.
Well, Kongdoo's going to come alive here at 25 minutes into this game when they start to have those opportunities to group up and really utilize their poke to the fullest degree. Roach will be effective in potentially some of these team fights, particularly against BDD, depending on what his build is going to be, because the Syndra, bit of a sitting duck in the back line, especially against a very sticky champion like an Ezreal.
Well, now, Morellonomicon finished out for BDD, but a long ways away from having that 100-0 potential that he needs to have. Rift Herald going to be started up here by CJ. Roach throwing out the parallel convergence, but not going to go forward and try to get the stun in. BDD roaming over just in case.
They have no pressure there, no mid lane, no jungle, no chance really. Taking that away, and the Shy will get a very valuable buff for that split push. Roach is going to come in with a time winder, but they're going to find Bad Life on the bottom side of the map.
He's going to get rooted up, has to use the ultimate to try to get himself out of there. Throws out the pulverize, but there it is. That's going to be the subjugate coming up with the kill. Curtain call used, but not needed. Mad Life goes down to getting caught out in the river.
A lot of opportunities there. Roach did have to back off, of course, immediately. And they showed so many people on the bottom side of the map engaging. Can't do a cross-map engagement safely. So here comes Kongdoo onto the turret, though. This is big. If they get this first turret gold, they're going to get it. They're going to be in a very good place just to start grouping up and rotating around the map with their poke composition.
Yeah, they're going to hand this all over to Soul, but looks, yep, there we go. I was going to say, maybe they were going to split it for a second, but they give all 650 over to the Jin, who already has that Essence Reaver completed, so he is going to be in a very nice spot. And he goes for this next back, so first brick picked up now by Kongdoo Monster, and they're going to just launch themselves into a 1,500 gold lead.
And now looking at Zeal items, so Soul picking up a little bit of extra attack speed here. As, where's he? Is he going back into bottom lane? That is...
Translate into his added damage. He's got that fixed attack rate. BDD able to find the stun, but Edge just going to flash away. Finds a corrupted arrow onto Haru, and he's just eating all these tower shots. One more will do it. Oh, but the piercing arrow is not going to connect as Haru is able to flash away. Barely out of the range. Punch getting stunned up by that Scatter of Weak, and BDD is able to back off, but almost losing their jungle off of an engage opened up by CJ.
Great play from Edge. Nice flash straight to the Chain of Corruption. Smart idea to flash early because the Chain CC was going to come through and kill him if he didn't. Instead, he nearly gets a kill, at least trades Summoners. And he forces Haru off the map temporarily till the Void Rush sends him screaming back onto the Rift.
Now Mad Life getting found yet again. The pillar comes down. Punch gonna jump forward. He pops the ultimate, gets a pulverize in. It's gonna be the ultimate. Stun comes through onto the Nidalee, but Soul's there with the curtain call. Can he find a shot on the BDD? He's shooting him out and he's blind. Haru will eat the fourth one to the face. The BDD will live, but that's flash and goes down. As well as Mad Life's ultimate. Kongdoo Monster are just inching ahead.
Yeah, CJ with the right assignment though. Kramer to the mid lane. They don't have enough people on the side of Kongdoo. Push out both mid and bottom at the same time right now. Edge had no mana, so he had to recall head home to top up. So at least they saved their mid lane turret for the moment, but there should be another push coming in right here as the Sivir will be sent back into the bottom lane. Mad Life is trying to get rid of some of these crucial wards that Kongdoo has. Blue buff, huge here on the next push, picked up by Edge.
Yeah. All finished. Still not working towards that Mura mana yet outside of stacking up the tier, so we won't see the Mana Mute come in yet. But Yomu's Ghost Blade likely on the way as those double longswords come through, so probably going to see that serrated Joker of the Caulfields come out for him.
So hard to defend against if you're CJ. They have 2 melee champions and then the Syndra without any summoners in the mid lane.
Yeah, they'll get a good amount of damage in onto that tower. Can't take it yet, but it's still just a couple pushes away. Kramer's here though now. So he'll have some good wave clear to offer up for CJ, but it's just going to be matched by the line wave clear of Edge.
It's only a couple more, and there we go. Curtain call opened up.
Haru coming in on the sidelines, not able to find anything. Mad Life going low. One more shot would do it, but he's able to hide behind his teammates, but that's enough to push them back and hand the turret over to Kongdoo. Second pickup for them.
Yeah, really nice positioning there from Punch, actually, because he did prevent Haru from going in. Looks like the blue buff will be taken by Haru in the end. So Haru was looking for a flank there to stop the curtain call. Not going to find it now. Kongdoo going to get a little bit more speed as they take the Cloud Drake. Kongdoo doing a good job of execution so far. They do need a larger gold lead here. They need to keep rolling with the turrets and the objectives. They want to take this, but now Jin heading up into the top side, and turret gonna fall down to 50% right here, but Roach drives Shy back for the time being, and it's like they're gonna try and hard push into the bottom side actually. Sivir already there with a large minion wave. They're gonna trade 1 for 1. This is good for CJ.
Yeah. Any sort of even trade at this point gonna be nice for them. Give them a bit of gold back and kind of keep things close as well as just distribute in for the AD carry. Shy.
CJ should just keep pushing on this.
Yeah, looks like they're going to. The Echo's there. Shy not going to stick around and try to fall. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to go down yet, but Bryson didn't play a little bit further since he had that Mega Gnar available, but lets them get a lot of hits in onto this tower.
Static Ship, interesting item that we almost never see early on Jin, but it does just add more wave clear and is good for the siege. Not great for the team fights, but if you're going to be poking and sieging, it's a good item to have. This just says they're trying to accelerate their tempo here in the mid game and really continue to take down these turrets. Again, in the end, it is a 1-for-1 outer for outer trade. So CJ seizing on the opportunity of a well-placed side minion wave in bottom. But the answer comes through in the top side, and at the end of the day, they still are outer turretless right now, and the wards are going to start popping up in the CJ jungle.
We're not going to get caught by that root. Still Kongdoo Monster, despite the score just being 2-1. Are vastly in control of this game as they push in, looking for this tier 2 and mid. Keep the ball rolling. Haru going to get locked up, take a bunch of these hits with the curtain call. Third and fourth shot's not going to connect with the tower. Will go down in the end, so Kongdoo, they get what they wanted, only had to use the one ultimate for it.
Yeah, Kongdoo again, nice setup. Got the opportunity to use the curtain call to zone people out, and with so many melee champions, melee jungler, and the melee support, there's very little that CJ can do besides run in circles when the piercing arrows, the javelin tosses, everything just comes through from Kongdoo.
This is just a rough spot to be in here for CJ. Need to win this game and the next to avoid the loser's match, where they could be relegated out of the LCK.
That would put pretty big, it would light a big fire under CJ, because there would be no more losing possible past that point. You lose this initial match, you have to win the best of 3, and then you have to win a best of 5 to stay in the tournament, as one of your lives in double elimination has been used up.
We'll see Shy and Roach continuing to hover around this bottom side. Shy not really able to get up and get any damage in onto that tower. Baron's been up for a couple of minutes. Vision control there for Kongdoo, but just not going to be looking to make a play around that objective anytime soon. Still have a ways to go before they're comfortable enough to pull the trigger on that. See there, Haru very tanky on the wreck side, barely taking any damage from that piercing arrow, but it's just going to get worse. As the Yomus is almost completed, then we will certainly see that Muramana completed as well, so Edge is going to be pumping out all sorts of damage.
Absolutely huge, and it's a Proto Belt into a Lich Bane here from Punch, so he's actually...
Oh, okay.
This is actually a really all-in burst build. I'm surprised to see this.
Oh boy, Haru goes over the wall in the tunnel. It's rooted down, takes a little bit of damage. The subjugate used by Cougar, but not going to be able to find anything. Yeah. Even for being a short cooldown, probably going to want that. They look to push in on this tier 2 and top. TP is going to be coming through from Shy. Doesn't have much of an R bar, but it's going to be matched by Road.
Really bad TP flank there.
They're able to
Shy.
find anything. Yeah, Shy needs to be able to pinch in, slow them up with that Frozen Mallet. Gets a hit in on the Soul. Mad Life now going to get caught out. Throws up the ultimate, but Haru's going to have to body block the rest of these. Now he gets caught by that corrupting arrow. Mad Life gets locked up as well. The tendrils do stretch out onto him. He goes down. Now Kramer getting hit up. Roach goes in, gets stunned. That's going to be the ultimate coming through, but he snaps back with his own. So BDD unable to find the kill. Takes a big javelin to jump forward with the Proto Belt. There it is. Punch coming up with the kill. 2 members of CJ down. The tier 2 to follow. And do they just go over for this Baron? BDD's dead for another 35 seconds. Looks like the answer is no. They're going to go ahead, back off, and spend this gold that they just got.
Kongdoo's execution with his composition is very impressive. Punch knows exactly what he's doing. He's really impressing me on this Nidalee in these team fights. First off, yet again, he stayed with Soul. Watch Punch here. He's going to stay with Soul to zone Shy away, threaten Shy from coming in on the flank, even though he's still in mini-Gnar form. And then watch this as he catches up. So good curtain call, softening up these targets. Roach is going to go in, try and catch on to Kramer, and then use that Chrono Break to get out after the Cinder ult is dropped. Punch is here, and he's not shy at all. He comes in, Proto Belt flash to finish off with the Sheen, and that's only going to get to be more damage once he finishes the Lich Bane. So he knows his role, which is to protect the curtain call, and then as soon as that's done, when the poke damage goes down, he uses the pounce to catch up, and then just all in people with the Proto Belt and the Lich Bane as an execute. Good stuff.
Yeah, really good. Pick up that kill, looked like BDD was fine for the moment, but now Kongdoo Monster in complete control of this game. Gonna move over and look to take their third dragon, the Mountain Drake, going over to them.
Mountain Drake is the worst thing you could give them right now.
Yeah.
For a poke composition that has been so thoroughly styling on you when it comes to taking objectives, giving away that Mountain Drake is absolutely huge. They didn't have a very safe Baron before because of the lack of tankiness.
Well, it's only going to get...
they're just collapsing right now.
Yeah, it's only going to get worse for them now as Shy gets jumped on. Parallel Convergence won't find him. He's going to hop away and
wow,
flash.
they use so much, they got to go now.
Oh, yeah. Can't get him, but they do work him down pretty
that
low.
Was
so.
3 ults.
Yep.
3 ults in exchange for a flash. Not a good trade for Kongdoo. A little bit of a mistake there. Wait out the curtain call in the Chain of Corruption now. But won't be too long on the chain. And they already picked up the Drake as the objective, so there's not much else they could be doing right now while they wait for the cooldowns.
Yeah, they still have another Infernal Drake coming up in a couple minutes, so even if they can't make anything happen right now, given that they burned out all of those ultimates, they can just simply wait, get that nice 16% increase to their stats, and then just come back in and smash CJ.
Certainly are in a good position. It should have been done stacking that here for 2-3 minutes now. Just waiting on that Muramana in conjunction with the flat armor penetration that he's already picked up. Shy only now starting to buy armor at 27 minutes as a chain vest. Probably building into a GA, but
yeah,
that's it. So Randuin's and a chain vest in terms of armor on CJ, so Haru really has to absorb the brunt of the poke.
Now, let's see. Maybe the Void Rush coming out from Haru, just zipping his way into this top side of the river. The Kongdoo Monster have been hovering around. Don't have that much vision inside of the pit. There's going to be a ward there from CJ, actually. So Kongdoo be lacking in that regard, but up and down the river and even into the jungle of CJ, they have a decent amount of control. The crit call opened up as Mad Life, not really going to get hit by any of those. Roach gets knocked in, actually blown up, can't use the ultimate, can't use the flash. They find a pick, kill goes over to Kramer, the second one that CJ's been able to put on the board. And they find more though, looks like the ping's coming out, they might be looking for that tier 1 in mid.
Yeah, but the wave clear's already there. Varus shooting that piercing arrow through, gonna get the scatter of the week onto him. But where's the follow-up?
They hit him, that's gonna be the corrupting arrow into the root here.
Beautiful.
Going low, one more hit, the flash forward, Soul finds the kill. Mad Life gonna go down as well, and Shy gets hit by the remaining tendrils, a double kill for the Jin. And Kongdoo Monster, after losing Roach, turned that completely on its head and blow up 2 more members of CJ.
Yeah, Haru's still alive, so the risk here to doing the Baron is real, even though they do have a lot of damage. And a Mountain Drake to help them. Roach is going to be able to TP in here, does as soon as he spawns.
Here he comes, Edge,
Haru.
Cougar, and Punch all going pretty low. They jump over the wall, get the root down onto Haru. The Baron's going low. Haru's going to try to have to get in here. Comes in, but he dies before he can use the smite, before the Baron was in smiteable range. And Punch confirms it. Soul gets another kill on the Jin, and suddenly things are looking very grim for CJ Entus.
I mean, BDD was so cocky pushing up here, throws the sphere, takes too long, and the damage from the poke with the Infernal Drake, ridiculous. Great flash forward there by Soul. Mad Life has no more ultimate, and an engagement that started off poorly where they should not have used the subjugate onto Mad Life. And they did cause Echo's death after a prolonged engage. CJ gets too greedy, and they are supremely punished for that. Nicely done by Kongdoo. They look so confident with about their limits and where they can fight with this composition.
Yeah, 3 more kills, 6,500 gold. That's about 7,000 gold now at this point. So it's been climbing up very quickly. And a minute and a half on a second Infernal Drake. At this point, I mean, is there really anything CJ can do?
Hope for the miracle pick. If they get a good flank, they can still win, right? The composition is very squishy from Kongdoo. They are vulnerable to a good Gnar engagement or a good scatter of the week. Kramer is still playing Sivir, so if they can get like a multi-man Gnar ult and then one Boomerang Blade and Ricochet comes through and they get a good crit, that actually could just absolutely wreck Kongdoo, but unlikely.
Well, now, posturing up in this bottom lane. Looking for this inhibitor tower so they can break the line at 31 minutes. Been much faster pace for Kongdoo Monster. Got a lead much earlier on in this game. Call opened up. Mad Life already taking a couple of these hits, just getting worked down very quickly. Haru gonna body block Kramer. Takes that last one, does not spell shield it in time. So he's gonna get chunked out. Mad Life has to go back to the fountain with Sivir in tow. And that is just gonna be the tower going down. Now Kongdoo, a couple more hits would do it, but they're actually not able to find it. Haru pitching around to the backside. They want to retreat, cover their flank.
Yeah, they absolutely should not overdo it here. That was the right call. The one thing that can lose you this game is a good flank from CJ. Don't let him have it, just play patient, come back for the last hit. Now you've broken the base. You can also just go back for the Infernal Drake right now. There's no reason to keep pushing forward if you're feeling uncomfortable, and that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, looks like that's just gonna be the call. Make their way back, clear out the Gromp. Won't get spotted by that ward right there, but now there's just no way for CJ to funnel into them. This is just going to be 16% increased stats now for Kongdoo Monster. They've already been looking dominant in this game. They have an 8,000 gold lead at the moment. And now double Infernal with that Mountain, with that Cloud Drake. Kongdoo has everything that they can possibly want to be able to close out this game.
Yeah, they're in really good shape. The armor still low on CJ across the board. GA finished for Shy, but besides the Ninja Tabi and the Randuin's on Haru, not much else. BDD not anywhere near being able to build a Zhonya's Hourglass yet. And he probably needs that just to dodge Chains of Corruption because he doesn't have the cleanse. So if he sees that ability coming in, at least he can Zhonya's. Because if he gets hit by that, he just dies.
Well, now CJ need to be hoping for some sort of miracle. Soul completely misses the wave with that W.
I'm just confused as to why Haru is building Cowl and why Mad Life has a Locket. Like, Locket is not useful against Kongdoo. The one person who was behind on Kongdoo was Punch on the Nidalee.
Yeah.
You don't need a Locket in this composition. You'd be better off building, say, a Crucible to deal with the Jin route or the Varus route. Or even a Talisman, just to get the hell out of there. I don't know, the Locket here is very strange. Like, the Locket being done, yes, you can pop it to absorb some of the attack damage poke, but there's so much poke.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to be doing a whole hell of a lot. Shy just taking that spear to the face. Needs to make some sort of massive play on this Gnar. Was dominating the lane early on, but hasn't been able to transition this into a team fight. Hasn't found an opening. You can see the damage on the Mad Life just chunking him down so significantly on the hunt to be used, but to what avail? They can't find an opening. They can't find a catch on anybody with this Syndra from BDD. Split push just continues as Roach and Soul move up into this mid lane, looking for another inhibitor tower. Mad Life down to half. They hit him with a W, opening up with a curtain call. Have the body blocks here. And now he's out of range, so it should just be a cancel here from Soul. Gonna find one more hit on the Mad Life. Ooh, 916 damage, way too late on that spell shield. He's gonna have to go back. Shy goes in, but there's nobody else there. Can't connect onto the wall, and that's gonna be his Guardian Angel pop, and likely his death as he does respawn. There it is. Edge comes up with the swift kill, so Shy just trying to make something happen, can't do it. BDD will be able to finish off the Trundle with use of the ultimate. Gets a nice double stun, but just no way to collapse in and capitalize on top of that.
I mean, Shy, that was terrible. The Sivir had already been massively chunked out. BDD wasn't there. The Gnar ultimate did nothing, effectively. True that Cougar died afterwards, but that was more Cougar's fault than anything else, sticking around a little bit too long, and man, Shy just getting way ahead of his team. Communication seems to really be breaking down for CJ.
Yeah, this is not a good look at all for CJ. This is very reminiscent of the beginning to middle of the summer split. Things just not going their way right now. Shy had to been able to make that play 8 seconds sooner. Might have been able to have additional collapse from CJ, but everybody getting jumped on and just getting chunked out by this Varus, by this Jin, just sent them back to the fountain. There's just no one there to capitalize and try to get those kills.
I mean, he lost his GA too. That was just really, really bad. So Baron gonna be the target here again. If Kramer had been alive and that Gnar had worked, maybe you get a good ricochet off of that, but Kramer was just heading back to the fountain right there, not able to participate in the fight whatsoever without getting instantly killed by Punch.
Here we go. Mad Life getting jumped on. Gonna be the curtain call opened up, getting chunked out. Last hit is eaten by Haru. The Javelin not gonna connect onto him, and Mad Life just way too squishy on this Alistar. Every single time that curtain call opens up, he almost goes down. Has to be body blocked, and now Kongdoo gonna be looking for the second Baron here. Should be able to get a nice route onto Haru by Soul. Just zoning him out, have the parallel conversions there as well, and it's just gonna be picked up by Punch. Now Kongdoo Monster just storm the base yet again. They're gonna take out Shy.
I mean, the difference between the Baron control in this series from Kongdoo. Oh, nice flash from Punch.
Oh yeah,
out of Kramer.
Not gonna get the root there from the Deadly Flourish. BDD gets chunked out though, almost finds Cougar.
Doesn't quite die there.
Whew, that was close, but he's got that passive. He's gonna be regenerating off the minions dying around him. So just gonna be one kill picked up there by Kongdoo off the back of that Baron, but still just advancing forward. Now have a 12,000 gold lead.
Yeah, they are gonna send the Trundle back, but really what their goal should be the next dragon, the Ancient Dragon. They already have 4 up, so the true damage would be huge. True damage in combination with their poke means basically no chance of defense from CJ. So they get something here, it's good, but no rush.
Yep, that's going to be the turn going down. Curtain call, one more shot. It's Mad Life pretty damn low. Piercing arrow not going to connect. Roach not going to get locked up. Yeah.
The Lichbane and Sheen from the Nidalee and the Echo are making short work of these objectives. And they're going to recall. That's a bit dangerous. They should actually just go for the Ancient Dragon right now. You do not want to give that over. Okay, they staggered their recalls. It's okay. A couple members are not going to be allowing CJ to push out efficiently. At least they didn't all recall right there. So here we go. To be methodical, they got the inhibitor. Now they are setting up. Push the wave, then drop back to the Dragon Pit.
Should be able to work this one out. They have plenty of dragons to get bumped up. It's going to be 24% increased stats there from the Infernal, a double on the mountain, a double on the cloud, and then 4 additional stacks for that passive burn. Kongdoo monster, they can just force up around this inhibitor, and CJ, they just have to let it go.
This has been actually quite good macro from Kongdoo. They understand exactly what they need to do with this team composition. Their win conditions are clear. They are doing smart things like going for that dragon, which they really can. Poke comps are like the best with the Ancient Dragon just because the application of true damage is so frequent and devastating like that.
Yeah, that's going to be one side coming through from Soul. Finds the kill in on the Shy. No one else really in range, so you can just cancel that curtain call or just hold it the zone off. The inhibitor going down. More super creeps pinching in on the mid. Roach goes forward, trying to find Mad Life. The root not going to connect. Devlin goes out, just going to hit a couple minions. Mad Life pops the ultimate, going to back off, but the piercing arrow, the corrupting arrow rather, comes out. Mad Life flashes away. Is it enough to kill him? Yes, it is. Edge coming up with a kill, and now the Nexus towers have been broken. BDD just running to no man's land on the backside of the fight. He goes down, and that is going to be a 2-0 for Kongdoo Monster, finishing out the second game in just 40.5 minutes, and suddenly CJ Entus are one best of 3 away from getting eliminated from the LCK.
I mean, that's huge. And props to Kongdoo. The first game wasn't that pretty from them. They had to battle it back. They managed to get quite a few Barons despite being at a hefty disadvantage and muscle their way with a better late game composition. But that second game, that was impressive use of a poke composition, and that is hard to do.
Yeah. This is the Kongdoo Monster that we saw maybe twice in spring.
Yeah. Good stuff. Punch in the jungle, too. Really liked the way he played the Nidalee in the team fights. Questioned him when he started falling behind and far, but he actually delivered well on that champion.
So now CJ Entus knocked into the losers match that'll be coming up next. Have to square off against Spenu, Sonic Boom, and it's do or die time. Spenu already losing to the team that relegated them out of the LCK in ESC ever. And now CJ Entus, a legacy team, Mad Life, the legacy player, fighting for his chance to retain his position.
I mean, it's almost unbelievable. Shy and Mad Life were at one time arguably the top players in their positions in the world. They were champions of this league, and now they are nearly done.
Everything has an expiration date, I suppose, Monte Cristo, and it might just be that for their careers. You can see right there coming out of the mid lane, just an insane amount of damage from Edge on that Varus. 35,000, almost hitting that 1K. Almost hitting that 1K DPM mark with that champion. And it's just one of those ones that he's so well known for back in spring, and he gets his hands on it here, and he shows you why it was always permabanned.
Yep. Well, it didn't take it in game number 1. Didn't look like he needed to, and it's a quick 2, not quick. It is a 2-0 for Kongdoo.
Yeah, definitely not a quick one, but a 2-0 all the same. We're going to go to a break, guys. When we come back, we'll have our losers match. CJ Entus fighting for their spot against Spenu, Sonic Boom, who want to get back into the LCK. So make sure you stick with us because it's potentially history in the making. We'll see you in just a little bit.